Today, we'll go over how to set up your MarketBasket account. And this starts with the 3 things you need to do in order to get set up on MarketBasket. The first thing you do when you log into your MarketBasket account is you'll see here on the left-hand side the MarketBasket logo. Below the logo, you should see your name, and beside your name, you should see the name of your hotel. If either one of those 3 things are different, meaning it's not your name or not your hotel, please do not use the account and send an email to marketbasket@ihrco.com. Now, getting started here today, one of the first things you'll need to do at MarketBasket is add suppliers to the system. There are currently 67 suppliers, and I can assure you your hotel would need to add more suppliers to the system. To add a supplier to MarketBasket, the first thing we have to do is click on Hide Menu. So I'll click here to take the check out of Hide Menu. This will open up a field here on the left-hand side, and this is called the main menu. To add a supplier to the system, we click on Procurement. We call this a supplier on the fly. The suppliers you add to the system, we call that supplier on the fly. So here I'll click on supplier on the fly, and this will open up a window which will allow me to add a supplier to the system. In the middle of your screen, you'll see the information needed to add a supplier to the system. Now, the first thing I want to make sure everyone understands, you do not have to call your supplier and say, hey, we're using this e-procurement system, we need you to be on it. The only thing you have to let your supplier know is instead of calling in your order, you will send them a fax. And MarketBasket will fax your purchase order directly to the supplier. So let's go over how to add a supplier to the system. To add a supplier to MarketBasket, you have to complete, at minimum, these little blue squares here in the middle of your screen. So to add a supplier, the first thing we do is you type in the name of the supplier. Below that, I highly recommend you put the attention name there. So this could be the name of your sales rep. Going down a little further, you can see here it says fax or email PO to the supplier. You can actually choose whether you want the PO to be faxed or emailed to the supplier. If you choose it to be faxed, then you type in the fax number here, and you have to make sure you never put in any dashes or parentheses. It's a straight 10-digit number that you put in MarketBasket. Now, if you choose email, I select email here, you'll notice that the blue square will come here under email, which you'll be required to put in the email address for the supplier, and this is the email address the PO will be emailed to. Coming out a little further, you have the address for the supplier. Then you will need to put in the zip code, the city, and the state. Once you complete this information, you will come up here and click on Save. After clicking on Save, the supplier will show up here on the left-hand side. When a supplier is added to your hotel, everyone at the hotel have access to that supplier. So there's no need for someone in housekeeping to add a supplier that someone in the front office or someone in sales had already added. Once it's added to the system, everyone have access. The only other thing you'll need to do in this screen is change the information should your sales rep change, or the fax number or email address for the person that the PO will need to go to. To change the information, you simply select the supplier from the left-hand side. The information will appear in the middle of the screen, and you can actually change the fax number or add the sales rep name, or you can change it from fax to email. The purchasing department recommend that you have the PO fax to the supplier. Most suppliers are used to receiving fax or telephone calls from the hotel. However, you may choose email. I highly recommend if you choose email, the first purchase order that you submit to the supplier, please call and make sure they got it, to make sure that the email did not go into their junk folder or something like that. And there you have it. The first thing we want to do to set up your MarketBasket account is add supplier. Once you've clicked on Save, you'll click on the word Close, and we'll be right back where we started. So now I'll put the check back in the Hide menu, and we're going to continue across the top here. As we continue across the top, the next thing you see is called Hide Summary. This is your summary information in MarketBasket, which allow you to, one, search the catalogs for certain products that you may be looking for. You'll see the inbox, and the inbox is simply notifications that you have a PO awaiting your approval, and so on and so forth. These are notifications that you actually will receive in MarketBasket. Beside Hyatt Summer, you see Hyatt logo, and this here you see the Birch Street and the MarketBasket logo here at the top. Birch Street is simply the company that powers MarketBasket. Interstate has a license to Birch Street, and we call it MarketBasket. Next, we have Home. Home Refresh MarketBasket. You need this when you create a purchase order in the system. After you submit the PO to your general manager, or if you're a GM, submit it to the supplier. To create the next purchase order, you have to click on Home first. This will refresh the system for you. The second thing we do to set up our MarketBasket account is called My Settings. So here, I'll click on My Settings. My Settings give you an opportunity to, first of all, correct any information that we actually put in the system here for you at the purchasing department. For example, you have your first and last name. If we spelled your name incorrectly, you can change it here. You also have your telephone number. It gives you an opportunity to put in your telephone number. Again, when you put in a telephone or a fax number into MarketBasket, you never use any dashes or parentheses. Coming down a little further, you have your email address. You make sure you verify your email address is correct, because when you either receive a PO awaiting your approval, or if you're the one submitting the PO, once it's approved, you can receive an email letting you know that the PO has been approved. The notifications in MarketBasket will go to the email address that's here under My Settings. Coming down a little further, you see your job title and so on and so forth. The key thing under My Settings is called your default PO approver. This is the person that your PO needs to go to for approval. If you are the general manager, you would leave this blank. For everyone else at the hotel, you have to click on this lookup window here beside default PO approval, and I'll click on that. This will give you the list of approvers for your hotel. The only thing you have to be concerned with is the first person in which your purchase order will need to go to for approval. So if I'm in housekeeping and the director of finance is the person that approves my purchase order, I would select the director of finance. However, if I'm the director of finance and the general manager approves my purchase order, I would select the general manager. Again, the only person you have to be concerned with is the first person that approves your purchase order. So here I'll click on the general manager. After you've selected your default PO approver, we're now done with My Settings, which is the second step of setting up your MarketBasket account. So after you've completed this, you click on Save. You'll notice here at the bottom of the screen, MarketBasket has let you know that it's done. And now we can come up and click on Close. We've just completed 2 of the 3 things you need to do to set up your MarketBasket account. Now, before we go to the third thing, we're going to continue across the top. Here you'll find Help. When you click on Help, you see just different things you can do with MarketBasket concerning training. One of the things I want to point out here is you'll find the MarketBasket training manual. This is a instructional manual that I created for everyone to use, so you can actually go here, click on this, and find out more details on how to create a purchase order or add a supplier and so on and so forth. I'll go ahead and close this. And next we have Log Out, and it's exactly what it says. It's to log out of MarketBasket. Now, the third and final thing we need to do to set up your MarketBasket account is called the Order Guide. But before I go to Order Guide, let's just give you a quick overview of how MarketBasket works. In MarketBasket, we have first what we call tabs. You'll find the Catalogs tab, Order Guide tab, Cart tab, PO tab, your Inbox, and if you're an approver, you have an Approver tab. Now, each tab has what we call action buttons. So here are the action buttons here, and it simply means the action you take. So if you want to create a PO, that's an action. So you would click on Create PO to create that purchase order. Each tab has these buttons here, and as you use MarketBasket, you'll become more and more familiar with these particular buttons in the system. Now, without further ado, let's get into the order guide. So when we're on the order guide tab right now, and you see we're on the order guide tab because it's highlighted in a darker blue. It's kind of hard to get lost in the system because whatever tab you're on, there will be highlighted, and below that tab will be all the information needed, or all the information pertaining to that particular tab. To create an order guide in MarketBasket, we come over here and click on Create OG. When you click on Create OG, it opens up this. Now at the hotel, we buy the same thing over and over and over again, month in and month out. So an order guide allows you to take all the items that you order all the time and put it in one location. And once you put it in that location, whenever you need these products, you can go to that location and find your products very quickly versus searching or typing in the products each and every time you need to place your order. So it would definitely behoove you to go in and set up your order guides. Today we're going to name this order guide China Glass and Silver. So needless to say, everything I put in this order guide will be pertaining to China Glass and Silver. Another way to set up an order guide in MarketBasket is you can put it by supplier, you can name it by GL account, it's your account, you can name it whatever you want. And unlike the supplier on the fly, as far as the vendors you add to MarketBasket, your order guide is for you only. Only you will be able to see the order guides that you set up. However, if you would like to share your order guide, the only thing you have to do is put an asterisk in front of the first letter. So in this case, you notice I put an asterisk in front of China Glass and Silver. If I was to click on OK, everyone at the hotel will see my order guide. So all the products that I put in that order guide, they can order from. However, they will not be able to change my product, nor will they be able to add any more products to my order guide. This simply gives them an opportunity to see the order guide. So here I'll take the asterisk out because I don't want to share this, and I'll click on OK. Once I click on OK, it lets me know the order guide has been created. I'll click on OK, and here I'll see it says China Glass, Flatware, and Silver. If I click on the drop down here, it'll have a list of all the order guides that I've created, and right now we only have this one order guide. You can create as many order guides as you like in MarketBasket. And once you create the order guide, you have to find the product and put the product inside your order guide. And we'll talk about that on our next module. But those are the 3 things you need to do to set up your MarketBasket account. The modules that will be following this will be how to create a purchase order. As you're going through and using and finding out more about MarketBasket, just keep this in mind. When spending money, use MarketBasket. Thank you.